Oh, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dude, and we're here to present you our NFL Week 7 tight end and defense picks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NFL, NBA, and MLB videos. And if you haven't already, go check out our new website at www.dfscheatsheet.com. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, include a complete optimizer, tons of content, everything that you need. So go check out the site at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
Hey, what's up, man? Just trying to get these picks out. Watch the Dodger game behind me. Just finish up the Warrior game. First night of NBA is pretty exciting. Finishing up MLB. Let's get some NFL.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll just jump right into these tight end and defense plays real quick. I'll get it started with the guy. I think he's going to be, somewhat of a chalky play. He's a very safe cash game play. I'm going to talk about Zach Ertz, 7,500. I understand the price tag's up there, but this guy's like by far, the best tight end right now, and it's quiet. Everybody talks about Kelce, talk about Gronk, but this guy has been the guy, leading since last year. He's been taking care of business. He's got 12 more targets than any other tight end, and that's actually Kelce. Leads the league in receiving yards for tight ends, and he's a monster red zone target. He hasn't quite got there with the touchdowns yet, but, the guy gets thrown to so much, he's bound to come back to his norm. He's going to get in the end zone. I'm going against Carolina. I definitely think this is going to be a back-and-forth game. You see Carolina defense. They got wrecked by the Redskins. They're not too good of a defense, in my opinion. And Philadelphia is going to throw the ball around. And I think the guy's the best tight end, so I definitely got to go with him as a safe cash game play.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him this week. If there was a deeper, there's only 10 games on the slate, 4 teams on bye. If it was a deeper week, I might fade him a little bit this week. But in cash games, it's an obvious play. This is a very shallow position this week. Very shallow position this week.
Yeah, and he's giving you a really good floor for sure.
So the first guy I'm going to go with is I'm going with Gronk. I've been on the Gronk train. I just think it's time. I think that, there was some life last week. One thing I noticed in watching that game last week, first of all, he only had 3 receptions for 97 yards, right? So 97 yards on 3 receptions, 3 really big plays. 2 things actually that stuck out to me. One, I don't know if you saw it, but the stiff arm he gave dude on the sideline was I thought that was more fierce than Vance McDonald's. He straight stiff armed that corner on the sideline, threw him off of him. Only difference was between him and McDonald's, he didn't score, so maybe it wasn't his, oh God. But it was Gronk being Gronk again, right? And then the second thing I noticed, in a red zone opportunity, Brady actually threw an incompletion to Edelman, but his feet were set to throw the slant. And what they did was they took, in a red zone opportunity, what teams will do is they'll double team a guy or they'll bracket coverage 2 wide receivers. And one way to get out of that is to flex the tight end and line him up as a wide receiver so you get one-on-one coverage. And that's exactly what they did. They looked at throw him a quick slant. So I love Gronk this week. I think it's time. They got a full complement of weapons back. They're throwing, Brady's firing on all cylinders, throwing the ball to the running backs, throwing the ball. He's got Gordon. He's got Edelman. He's got Chris Hogan. There's too many weapons. The guy who was talked about a lot was Dorsett early on. He's like a afterthought now with all the weapons they have back. So I think it's time for Gronk.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great play. He's going to be low owned. Like we talked about Ertz, he's probably going to be chalk, and they're somewhat in the same price range. So I definitely think it's a good play. Definitely for GPPs. Bro, you asking me if I've seen the stiff arm. Haven't you seen all the memes? Come on, bro. How have you not seen that stiff arm? You know what I mean? All right. So the next guy I'm going to go with is Njoku for the Browns. Played him last week. I'm going to go right back to the well this week against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is just absolutely horrendous. 31st in the league, second to last. And Njoku, he's been a focal point of the offense. Obviously, Baker Mayfield really likes him, and he's targeting him a lot. In five of the past six, 5 of the 6 games to start the season, he's got at least 7 targets. The past 2 weeks, he's got actually 11 and 12 targets. So he's getting a ton of balls thrown his way. And he's a big guy too. So he's a solid red zone target. Got his first touchdown last week, and I can definitely see him picking up another touchdown in this spot against Tampa Bay. It's probably going to be a pretty high-scoring game. 5,700 price tag didn't go very much. I think that if you're going to pay down at tight end, then I think that he's a really good cash game play as well. He's going to give you a solid floor if he's going to continue getting 11, 12 targets a game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing for me. It's just a shallow week at tight end, right? It's just go with the obvious. I mean, there's a few guys you can play this week. He's one of them. I think because of the targets, he'll probably be a little higher owned this week. And look, it's a really good matchup as well, right? I mean, outside of anything else, Tampa Bay is terrible against the pass, and then they are last when it comes to giving up fantasy points to tight end. They give up a lot of points. Your boy Austin Hooper had a big day against them, I believe. And then, the tight ends for Pittsburgh also had a decent day. So I think he'll be pretty chalky. And like I said, we just keep going back to it's a shallow position this week. It's so shallow that I'm going to go way off the board here for a tournament pick, a guy at $4,700. It's just a matchup thing for me. I'm going to go with Chris Herndon. You probably don't even know who the hell he is, but Chris Herndon from the Jets, $4,700. This is really a pump play at the position. It's a deep tournament play. He had 2 targets last week, 2 receptions, a touchdown, 56 yards, 12.6 points. And then the matchup, Minnesota's last in the league in DVOA to tight ends. So, from that standpoint, I like it. And then with Anua out, Terrell Pryor, another guy in that receiving core that's questionable with a groin injury. So, this is a week where it's probably a really far off the board play for a lot of people who don't even know who he is. But with the receiving core the way it is, and then, with the DVOA matchup, it's a good tournament play for me because of the pool is so shallow. If you're going to differentiate yourself anywhere at the tight end spot, I think he's a really good guy to do it with.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've never heard of the guy, to be honest with you. So, it is a definitely, off the wall play. But all their wide receivers are definitely getting hurt for sure. And the quarterback Darnold, I mean, he's showing us glimpses that he's decent, that he can throw the ball a little bit. He's gonna have to throw the ball to somebody. And I mean, like you said, at a minimum price tag, you don't need very much for him. You just need a couple catches, get you 50, 60 yards, get you some value. So a guy that I can maybe look into getting him in a couple of liners for GPP, help me fit in some bigger names on the week. So I'm ready to move on to defense. I'm gonna get it started first. I'm going with a team that, I pretty much just been picking on the same offenses every single week. So this week I'm going to start with the Colts, 4,100, very fair price tag going against Buffalo. You got the young quarterback that they got going in Allen right now for Buffalo. The guy's been definitely up and down. The Colts, I definitely think this is a game that they really need to win. I expect them to win this game. Buffalo, like I said, not a very good offense outside of McCoy. I definitely think you can stack the box and make him throw, and he's going to throw some interceptions. So Colts is going to be my first defense I'm going to go with this week.
Hey, bro, I don't know if you remember last week on the video, the player pool video, but we got called out for being homers and talking about Ezekiel Elliott and Dallas and all that, right? And I kept saying I love Dallas's defense this week, especially with all these dudes out, right?
Right.
I'm taking Dallas, man. I'm taking Dallas, $4,100 going against Washington. This is a rivalry game. This game typically does not have a ton of points in it historically. There have been a few off-the-wall games where there's been a lot of points. Dallas's defense is the real deal. They're the real deal. 4 forced turnovers the last 2 games. They're 5th in the league in sacks with 18. They're 4th in the league in as far as how many points they've allowed. They've only allowed 108 points. Dallas's defense is real. I mean, you look at Jalen Ramsey. You start looking at, Lawrence. Start looking at the dudes that this defense is made up of. I can't pronounce the dude's name, but the dude from Boise State that's filled in for Sean Lee. This defense is legit. They're a legit defense. I think that because their offense is so anemic that people are kind of off Dallas as a whole. But if their offense was playing well, look, you can go back 2 years ago, right? And look at start looking at what Zeke and Dak did. And that defense looked a whole lot better than it was because the offense stayed on the field and they moved the ball down the field. This defense right here, this is not being made to look better by the offense. This defense is straight legit. They get after the quarterback. They're nasty. They force turnovers. I'm going with Dallas, $4,100.
All right, all right. Hey, we are playing good on defense for sure. I like them. Very fair price tag. I definitely think this is a week where you don't really have to play all the way up. For a defense, you could definitely get away with some cheaper plays. The last play I'm going to go with on defense is going to be the Ravens at home against the Saints. I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but come on, man. You're getting a Ravens defense that have been proven. They've proven themselves this year that they're very good defense, and they've got docked all the way down to almost minimum price just because they're going against Drew Brees. I mean, I understand it's Drew Brees, but hey, he's not perfect. He throws interceptions. They can get some sacks on him. This is just too good of a defense at this price point. I think it's a very good buy low opportunity. So I like the Ravens at home against the Saints at only $3,400 on FanDuel.
Baltimore's my second rate defense. I would have taken Baltimore, but we obviously talked before the videos and want to make sure that we don't give away 9 picks on a video. So I loved Baltimore last week. They were one of my picks last week. First in points allowed, only allowed 77 points this year. First in sacks, 26 sacks. I don't care that they're playing Drew Brees. I don't care that they're playing that high-powered offense. That high-powered offense is going on the road. Just think back to when that high-powered offense went on the road to the Giants. We just saw what happened to the Giants this past Thursday night when they played the Eagles. The Giants aren't a very good football team across the board, and that was not a high-scoring game at all, right? Baltimore is a way better team and a way better – I said last week, this is a championship defense. I still believe that $3,400 is way too cheap.
Bro, sorry. Dodgers, walk-off. Bellinger just scored. Walk-off win, baby. Got that win. Sorry, bro. I had to just, hey, it happened. Had an instant moment. My bad, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But, yeah, no, I really, like I said, oh, man. You watching the game, weren't you?
It's behind me. I could hear it.
Hey, my bad. I wanted to tell you. My bad, bro. All right,
you know what, though? They did what they're supposed to do. It's 2-2.
All right. So who's your last?
I was really hoping I was gonna be able to get all over you about them blowing another game and be like, that's the Dodgers for you.
Oh, you see how you are. Who was your last defense?
Hey, all I got to say is this, dude.
Yeah,
3 rings.
I know.
My team's got 3 rings.
Hey, who's
so my last defense, right in the same price range as the one you're taking. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, right? But the Dolphins have revamped their stadium, and everybody's in the sun there. Visiting team is in the sun. Like, you're in South Florida, you're in the sun, right? Miami's over here in the shadows, and you're in the sun. I like the Dolphins this week. $3,500. It's not, there's with only 10 games on the slate. It's not a real. There's not a whole lot of places to get really off the board with and go with deep tournament picks, but I think Miami's a sneaky defense this week. Matthew Stafford hasn't played well on the road. They got 2 really good matchups at their corner spots. Detroit can't run the football. They can't stop the run. So I'm taking Miami this week. I'm going to have some exposure to Miami this week. I don't know how big I'll be on them, but I do like Miami this week a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy that you brought them up because in my projection system, when I was looking at our optimizer, they were popping up all over the place. So I definitely think that Miami is a solid GPP play, a little bit more for me, but nonetheless, I think that they are a solid play. So I think that's about all we got for tight end and defensive picks. If you haven't already, hey, go check out the website, dfscheatsheet.com. We're going to get out of here. We're going to be back with our NBA picks for tomorrow in about 15 minutes. So that'll be up tonight, so everybody can see it first thing in the morning. Make sure to check that video out. It'll be up, posted up right behind this one. And hey, you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later. Peace out.